At 6:14 in the morning, before a single light came on in any window on any street in this city, a 9-year-old boy was the only person who saw it happen. Marcus walks this park every morning, not because he has to, because his father saves the bread heels, the ends nobody wants, and Marcus brings them for the pigeons. It is the first thing he does every day before school. He is 20 feet away when the man on the bench stops moving, not slowly, not gradually. One moment the man is sitting, the next he is not. He slides sideways off the bench and hits the cold park path the way heavy things fall, with a sound that does not belong in a quiet morning. Marcus does not freeze. He does not look around for an adult. He moves toward the man the way his father taught him to move toward anything that needs help, without deciding, without hesitating, as if the decision had already been made for him a long time ago. The man is breathing, barely. His face is gray, his collar soaked through, one hand half open on the path, like he was reaching for something when it happened. Marcus kneels. The ground is cold. He has nothing, no phone, no jacket to roll up, just the bread heel wrapped in its bag. He folds it carefully and places it under the man's head. Then he takes the man's hand. It is cold, heavy, the hand of a man who has not let anyone hold it in a very long time. Marcus holds it anyway. He starts talking, not loudly, not performing, just the low, steady voice his father uses when Marcus has a nightmare and the dark feels too large. He talks about the pigeons, about the one with the gray-white wing that always comes first, about how his father says bread heels are the most honest part of the loaf because nobody pretends to want them. He shouts for help twice. A morning jogger stops, calls 911. Marcus goes back to the man's side and does not leave. 23 minutes. That is how long it takes. Marcus counts them by the pigeons landing and leaving on the path beside them. When the ambulance finally turns into the park, the man's eyes open, just for 11 seconds. He looks directly at Marcus with the specific clarity of a man who understands exactly how close it was. He says 4 words, slowly, each one separate, like he is paying for them with whatever he has left. The paramedics move Marcus aside. They load the man onto the stretcher. The bread bag is still on the ground. Marcus picks it up. He finds the pencil stub in his jacket pocket, the one he uses to mark pages, and he writes the 4 words on the side of the bag before he can forget them. Then he folds it twice, puts it back in his pocket, picks up the bread heel and gives it to the pigeons. Then he walks to school. At 6:14 this morning, a boy held a dying stranger's hand for 23 minutes in an empty park and talked to him about bread heels and pigeons until help arrived. Before the ambulance left, the man opened his eyes and said 4 words the boy wrote on a bread bag before walking to school. 3 days later, a lawyer in a suit rang the boy's apartment buzzer at 7 in the morning, and Marcus's father, who read those 4 words that same evening, sat down slowly and did not speak for a very long time. William Grant has been awake for 19 hours, and the first coherent sentence he has spoken is not about his company, his estate, or the chest pain that still sits behind his ribs like something unfinished. It is, did the boy stay? Ray Kowalski, 22 years as William's attorney, the man who has drafted every document William has ever signed without once asking why, looks up from the corner chair he has not left in 2 days. He says yes. The boy stayed 23 minutes. He held your hand. He talked to you about pigeons. William does not respond immediately. He looks at the ceiling with the expression of a man cataloging something important. Then he says, "Find him." Ray has already found him. James Webb's son, 9 years old, lives 2 blocks from the park. Father works a double shift 6 days a week. The boy walked to school the same morning. William closes his eyes. Ray watches him and says nothing, because in 22 years he has learned that William's silences are not empty. They are where he does his most serious thinking. Then William says, "Open the briefcase." Ray opens it. Inside, beneath 3 inches of current legal work, is a sealed envelope with a date stamped in the top corner. 3 years old, undisturbed. Ray has carried it every single day for 3 years without once being told to open it. He sets it on the table between them and steps back. William looks at it for a long time. He does not pick it up. He says, "Call Daniel." The name sits in the room differently than any other name. Daniel. His son. 7 years of silence accumulated one conversation at a time, one unreturned call, one unacknowledged birthday, one argument that was never supposed to end the way it ended and has never been revisited since. Ray dials. It goes to voicemail. He tries again. Voicemail, a third time. Voicemail. The door opens. Carter Sloan walks in with 2 lawyers and a calm that has been prepared in advance. He is polite. He is organized. He places a folder on the table beside the sealed envelope and explains that the guardianship petition is purely protective. William's best interests, nothing more. Temporary standard procedure for a man in William's condition. Ray opens Carter's folder. He reads the beneficiary document inside. Then he reads it again. Then he looks at Carter with an expression that is not anger. It is the specific quiet of a man who has just found the one piece of information that changes every other piece. The document is dated 8 months ago. In Carter's version, William signed it. In the original files Ray has memorized over 22 years, this document does not exist. Carter says, "Prove it." He says it pleasantly. The smile of a man who has already moved the assets and knows that proving anything takes longer than 48 hours. Then the monitor alarms. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just the single sustained tone that means a room has to be cleared immediately. Doctors arrive. Carter and his lawyers are moved to the hallway. Ray is the last one out. He stands in the corridor with his briefcase and the sealed envelope and the specific knowledge that William has 48 hours before a court hands Carter everything, and William may not be conscious for any of it. Ray takes out his phone. He scrolls to a number he has never been authorized to dial. He has had it for 7 years. He dials it now. It rings once. Then someone picks up. William Grant's first words after 19 hours unconscious were not about his company or his estate. They were about whether the boys stayed. His nephew has filed for guardianship with a document that did not exist 8 months ago. His son's phone went to voicemail 3 times. And Ray Kowalski is standing in a hospital corridor right now, dialing a number he has carried for 7 years and never once been authorized to use, while a sealed envelope sits on the table inside the room behind him, 3 years old, still unopened, still waiting. Ray Kowalski rings the Webb apartment buzzer at 7 in the morning. James opens the door in his work clothes. He has been awake since 4, the way men who carry everything alone usually are. Ray holds out a sealed envelope. "Your son saved a man's life. This document was prepared 3 years ago. It has been waiting for the right person. We believe that is your family. Please read it." James takes the envelope but doesn't open it immediately. He studies Ray carefully, the way people do when life has disappointed them too many times. Then he calls Marcus. Marcus steps out, still in his school clothes, the folded bread bag tucked inside his jacket pocket. He looks at the envelope, then at his father. James opens it. The charitable trust is 4 pages long. Ray reads the important section aloud because James's hands aren't entirely steady. The qualifying clause contains a single sentence. Any individual who, without obligation or expectation of recognition, chooses to remain with a stranger in their moment of greatest physical vulnerability. Ray looks up. 23 minutes, he says. That qualifies. Marcus doesn't celebrate. Instead, he reaches into his pocket and places the folded bread bag on the table. James reads the 4 words written on it. His jaw tightens. He places his hand over Marcus's and leaves it there. 2 hours later, Ray files the trust documents with the court, just before Carter Sloan's guardianship hearing begins. Carter's forged beneficiary document is presented beside the original trust, dated more than 3 years earlier. The forgery takes 11 minutes to prove. The petition is dismissed 4 minutes later. A referral to the district attorney follows. At noon, Daniel Grant arrives at the hospital. He hasn't seen his father in 7 years. For a long moment, he stands silently in the doorway. William opens his eyes. He looks at his son and says only 3 words. "I was wrong." 3 words, 7 years. The most expensive sentence William Grant has ever spoken, and the only one that cost him nothing to mean. Marcus stands quietly by the window beside his father. Outside, the city moves on, unaware of what has changed inside that room. 3 weeks later, the first project funded by the William Grant Charitable Trust is announced. The Bread Heel Fund, providing free breakfasts for every student at Marcus's school. Because sometimes the most powerful thing a person can do isn't survive their darkest moment. It's making sure someone else never has to face theirs alone.